Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome in, welcome all, welcome to the Forts Pro League Finals, where today we're gonna be jumping into the climax and the end matches, the big battles that you guys are here to see. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome one, welcome all, and thank you for stopping by so early as we are just getting started here. And I want to say hello to everyone here in this voice call joining us today. Hello there, Nose.
Hello, Incursus. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. I've got my nice hot tea. I heard you've got coffee, and we're looking to get started here.
Absolutely. It's pretty exciting, boiling down 40 teams all the way down to 4. And yeah, it's just going to be amazing to see this. Well, I'm excited for both these matches, both the bronze match and the finals.
Yes. It is. I've been looking forward to this, especially, as much as I love the finals, because the finals are always great, the bronze match is usually the fun one. And there's kind of a history, a bit of the culture around here, where the bronze match, I guess due to I'm going to describe it as the semi-competitive nature of forts. The bronze match is not always, but is often used as a playground of sorts. It's to say, hey, we're not winning first place, so we may as well just have fun with it. And so we see the wildest things in the bronze match. I said it as if we didn't have a match, like a full try-hard match that didn't involve 4 core swing attempts on balls of all things. So
that was amazing.
Yes, I'm very looking forward to both the bronze match and the finals match here.
Now, I believe who is actually playing in the bronze match in terms of players? 42. Do you want to clarify who's playing?
Yes, of course. So we have Monkey Air Force, which is Matteo and normally Ethan, but sadly Ethan had to do something else. So instead it will be Teutonic, the sub of Monkey Air Force, playing for them. And on the other side we have Fortified, which is Finn and rubble.
Awesome. And Matteo likes to call himself Helicopter these days too.
Yes, of course. I'm just too used to calling him Matteo.
Helicopter.
Yeah. And I think what we're going to do is see if Eaton might join us in the chat at some point. Hopefully he'll show up and say good day to us.
Yes, I look forward to that. We could also, I know chat was wanting to ask him questions about things, but maybe you might get some a live Q&A going there. But for the moment, awesome. We're getting everything prepared and set up to jump into the bronze matches. We'll be doing the bronze match first, the best of 5, and then we'll be doing the finals afterward. It'll be Skill Gap versus Westwind. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that one. I don't know which one I'm more excited for.
Okay, so how far along are we here? We've got some of the people ready to go. Yeah, I was thinking about 40 teams. That's 80 people have been involved with this, but then some of them have subs, so we're well over 100 people were involved in this season.
Yes.
Which is by far our strongest season into our 3rd season at the moment, which is really cool. I'm quite excited to see how things look for season 4. There will be, once this final is done, we're going to take probably 3-month break, I'm thinking. I think that's what we were thinking, because we're going to try and do 2 seasons a year is our current plan. So
yes,
yeah, and so we'll do a 3-month break from the FPL, and that gives us time to get things organized and, refine things, improve things. And but then during those 3 months, we'll have one-off tournaments.
Events, yeah.
And so we'll do some 1v1 tournaments. We might do a high seas tournament. We might do map making competition. I'm sure Kronk will want to do some sort of AI tournament.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, and who knows? Oh, yeah, and I think Rome wants to hold some challenge events too, which will be kind of cool. A little bit more casual,
yes.
but
Those will
but
be
equally
very fun.
Yeah, I think they'll be fun too. So, yeah, lots of stuff planned. So there'll be more forts coming everybody's way in the future.
There's been a backlog of ideas
Oh, yes.
for various community activities, and I'm looking forward to giving them a good throw, a good attempt.
Yes, I look forward to finally give some like feedback to that poll that we had held about one-off events that we never came back to.
Yep. Looking forward to it. So we've had our map vote.
No balls this time.
No
Sadness.
balls. No balls. The quad ball swing is not happening in the bronze match, which means we're gonna get to see what kind of strategies they're using on the more standard style maps. You're going to see vanilla first, followed by stalactites, and then up and down. So those are pretty much the most standard maps in the pool.
Yes, in the whole league, they were the go-to maps for every single match, basically.
Yes, they're just like the perfect middle of the road. You can do everything without any one thing being overwhelmingly powerful.
I mean, each map does definitely have their stronger strategies, but it's all fair and balanced, usually.
Yes, that's what makes them. That's what makes them exciting, or at least that's what makes them popular for a competitive experience.
Yes.
What is it? It's just that. Honestly, half of it is the name. The other half is that Balls has actually got some crazy niche things. Just something as simple as, oh no, suddenly 8 swarm missiles, which is less suddenly than, like, if that catches you by surprise, you probably deserve to get swarm missiled, but still. It is fun for the viewers to see, and then sometimes we get some crazy moments out of it. I'm still thinking about the quad ball swing. 3 out of 4 balls swing properly. It's crazy. Very crazy. What is it? So I do want to mention the prize pools for the Forts Pro League. I believe it's for the first place gets 100, second place gets 50, and third place gets 20. That's all in US dollar. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So whenever there is some prize like this, some financial prize as it were, there's always a pretty solid chance that the matches involved are going to be quite try-hard. Though it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a match with an actual prize where everyone just memes it up anyways, but still.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Something
third
like that?
place, the cash prize isn't huge, so it's not too much of a loss.
It's
anyway.
only 20 USD. A lot of the competitors are more than happy to just let that go for the purposes of having a little extra fun.
Mhm.
Hey, but maybe we'll actually see a ball swing in the finals, eh? Alright, the players are here. So we need to get going onto the commander bands. And then we'll be jumping into the action as we're going to get started here soon. Helicopter, why are you like this? I mean, I guess it's not gonna be particularly sneaky, so
I mean, maybe he's just bluffing. We don't know.
Yes.
Maybe he
Yes,
just sent me something. something in the
Ambrulo.
end.
Phantom. I like Phantom as the choice because Phantom is always the correct answer to that question.
Yes, but I think Phantom was banned.
That makes it even more correct. Oh no.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so we're going through the commanders at the moment. And then we will be good to go.
The cat herding is real.
Yes.
It is.
Imagine
It is real.
Imagine herding
It is.
100 cats throughout the season.
A Herculean task. Alright.
Okay, I think we're basically good to go.
I believe so. For the commanders, it looks like Phantom and Warthog have been banned. We see both teams picking Pinch Fists. We have an Architect and a Seep, Armadillo, Eagle Eye, Spook, Scattershot. Scattershot, okay. That's a Pocket Madness. And Firebird!
Yes, they love the PTSD inducing.
Yeah, now that's a commander you bring out like map 2, maybe even map 1, just for the purposes of doing stamina damage to your opponents. Just deal psychic damage. Like Firebird, not a super strong commander, not particularly high in the pick rate either, but the amount of stress it throws onto your
Yes.
opponents is a lot.
Every single mortar shot deals 1d4 extra psychic damage.
Exactly. All right. It looks like we are good to go, so we'll be jumping into the action here momentarily as we get ourselves ready for round 1. So ladies and gentlemen, get excited. Make sure to have your popcorn, make sure to have your snacks, make sure to have your nice cup of tea or your drink of choice, as we'll be jumping into the action here momentarily. Team Monkey Air Force versus Team Fortified. Alright, chat. So now here's the real question. Which team do you think is going to win? Is it Monkey Air Force
Excitement.
or Team Fortified?
Yay.
Let's go.
And we're off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 1 in this best of 5 Team Monkey Air Force versus Team Fortified. It's a pinch fist mirror match to start out, as here on the left-hand side, Team Monkey Air Force, Teutonic and Helicopter are getting themselves all set up. It looks like we got the triple wind turbine across the board, revealing that this is in fact a pinch fist mirror match. As they'll be facing against their opponents on the right side in the red, it's Team Fortified. Now, I do need to say that Eaton is not playing for Team Monkey Air Force at the moment. Eaton had to step away for this activity, and so they've been substituted out for Teutonic, as it will be Helicopter and Teutonic versus Finn and Ambrulo. But my question is, what are the strategies going to be? Because on the right side, in the upper right fort, we're seeing an upgrade center, which either means rocket rush or economy. And knowing Team Fortified, it's probably going to be economy. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go. We do see a buzzsaw placed Blue team is getting themselves set with a buzzsaw, which can punish any of these particularly greedy plays out of their opponents. Looks like they're mostly safe. Mostly. Finn, technically not safe, but not safe in a way that is so very difficult to punish that it's a little bit rare to see that attempt even made in the first place.
Yes, it would be unlucky to be taken off from this.
Exactly. However, it does indeed look like it's going to be a rocket rush.
And some portal mortars, I think.
No, those are flak.
Those are flak, yes.
And okay, so it's portal mortars and flak with shotguns out of Team Fortified, whereas Team Monkey Air Force is just going straight heavy weapons. Okay. So this is going to be a very, very different kind of matchup here. Despite it being a mirror match, we're seeing very non-mirrored builds. We have 4 mortars. Kind of surprised to see it's not going up to 5, but maybe they've learned from their previous attempts at this that 5 mortars is a bit too expensive. And so instead they're just sticking with 4.
Maybe 1 for bait and 3 others for damage.
That's what I suspect. We
Looks
do
like it's
have
just
the
4 for
fire
damage,
beam
though.
and plasma beam placed down for helicopter, so we're going to see that come out. Here's the thing. These portal mortars, while incredibly powerful, are going to be hitting... They're going to have very little time to do game-ending amounts of damage, or like critical amounts of damage, before those fire beam and plasma beam come online. As once the fire beam and plasma beam come online, that's going to be very consistent damage. And that's going to generally end up being more damage than the portal mortars here. So it would put Team Monkey Air Force, blue team here on the left, at a distinct advantage. And they only really have to survive another 30 seconds before that advantage starts kicking in. And oh boy, is that damage starting to add up. Teutonic is getting their front door kicked in. Yeah, that's about
my
lethal
God.
right there. Exposed 5%.
Oh,
There's the
jeez.
fire beam.
Close save.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
there it is.
Wow, yeah.
Not good enough.
The fire beam the plasma beam just wasn't ready. They just didn't quite have it. Helicopter gets their weapons online, but not before Teutonic falls. And with that, Team Fortified is off to a great start. It's just a beautiful bit of a timing attack here. There's the fire beam, touching the turbines, but not enough to break anything. If Helicopter can manage to take out those...
Oh.
No, that's it.
Wow.
Massive damage. Helicopter loses all of their weapons. They're all but completely defenseless against
This
the incoming
is,
firepower.
yeah, basically as well executed as you can imagine.
Yeah, this is not good for Team Monkey Air Force. As Team Fortified, they've put together a strong offense and are just laying on the pressure. You can't take this kind of damage. Like, I'm sorry, that's 4 mortars and more incoming, with more under construction.
With now the addition of miniguns for recon damage.
Yes, miniguns notorious for shredding wooden armor, which is exactly what a helicopter needs in order to survive this. The wooden armor is the only thing keeping helicopter in this game right now. And with the minigunners in play, as we see, it's just eating the armor, just chewing it up. Yeah, that's... I don't know what to do here as helicopter. I don't see a path to victory.
we need some way of destroying those mortars, and fire beam could be the solution, but you would have to have an angle.
Yes,
That means it would be exposed at some point.
it will have to be exposed, which means vulnerable to buzzsaws, and I don't see a solution to that is the problem, especially given that you have to deal with, well, the mortars, which are
I
just
would
an
first try
existential
to
threat.
connect to those 6 mines, I guess.
No, he doesn't really need metal. He just needs energy.
Yeah. I
He's
mean,
getting
he's gonna
close to
need
floating
metal.
as well. Yeah, at some point.
He's definitely gonna need metal, but he's not able to spend.
never mind.
Well,
Taking
Very
out the
good
mines.
option.
Don't
Shouldn't have mentioned it.
yeah, just if you're hoping to claim those mines, not anymore.
Yep.
God, it's so much damage.
Those mortars are really cutting deep.
They're cutting deep, and they're just gonna keep cutting deeper. Is the thing. As Team Fortified is coming in for the kill shot, doesn't quite touch the core, but breaks all the armor around it, leaving the core technically exposed and visible. Helicopter
And
does
we're
manage
just
to
making
repair
more
it.
weapons.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do? You build taller, you build more weapons. Finn up to
course.
7 mortars now, and counting. Ambrulo with a plethora of miniguns. They're bringing the rockets out to play, so in case you're thinking about doing some kind of
Oh,
That would not
portals.
be required.
Yeah. The mortars are enough as Team Fortified wins round 1 in this best of 5. A very decisive victory. Team Monkey Air Force almost made a comeback when they got that first shot with the fire beam, but it wasn't quite enough as Fortified far enough ahead, and they win it.
that was quick.
That was very
Or
quick.
Swift, yeah.
Swift's decisive victory. Early game aggression into just carried it through and just wore them down.
Was that an Eaton that I heard earlier?
Exactly, yeah.
That was an Eaton.
Maybe.
Oh, there he is.
Hello there.
He's been having some
Hello.
microphone problems.
Yeah, you could say that, I guess.
Mm.
Big technical difficulties.
thanks
At least now it's fixed.
Thanks for joining us, Eaton. It's good to have you here, man.
Yeah. Happy to help you out.
Welcome in.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
I'm sure Helicopter would love to have you by his side, but
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was too much pressure for Teutonic, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Also, it's really early in the morning here in Australia. I think he's in Australia, so it's
yes,
he's
that is correct.
probably needs more caffeine.
Yeah. He woke up probably at the same time as you did.
Eaton sleeping in again. Every time. Alright, so round 1 goes to Team Fortified. As next up we're going to be on Stalactites 2v2. As we're going to be setting up here for the next round. Looks like we're just about set up here. So we need to get these commanders selected. And I think we're good to go. We check out the action replay from the last round. Those mortars coming in for the kill shot.
Ouch. That was just way too
It's
much.
just so... Yeah, it's just so... Mortars are oppressive. They just deal a lot of
Yeah.
damage. You can't let them hit your base. They're like rockets. You can't let them hit your base. The difference between mortars and rockets
Yeah.
is that rockets are a bit more front-loaded. With rockets, you get hit once, you're just kind of immediately in the death spiral. Mortars, not so much, but you don't have time to play around. They're much more constant pressure.
Yeah, especially with the shotgun support, it's really hard to get good gunners up.
It is, and that just makes them so much more dangerous.
Exactly, yeah. I'm curious, I don't think they're gonna try that again, but maybe on up and down, not sure.
I've seen them just do it every time, even though they lost. So we'll see what they do here. They're clearly coming.
So true.
They're clearly going through the bronze match with knives out, like daggers revealed. So they're
I mean, hey, might as well
they're
have fun
not
with
playing
it.
around here. Yeah. I mean, they're having fun with it. And I want to see more
Yeah.
mortars. Mortars make me happy. They make me very happy.
They are incredibly satisfying.
They are. All right. Looks like we're about ready to go, so we'll be jumping into the action here in about 10 seconds. T-minus 10 seconds. Monkey Air Force versus Team Fortified. Round 2. And we're off, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
We're off to round 2 in this best of 5. As we have, it is Fortified versus Monkey Air Force. Fortified playing as the Eagle Eye Commander, Monkey Air Force as the Architect Commander. Curious to see how these builds will diverge here, because these are two commanders which don't quite play exactly the same. While they both tend to use the same weapons, they use a different path to get there. Whereas Eagle Eye uses a very standard middle-of-the-road build, Architect has options. The feature of Architect is with its building speed, especially with its commander active ability, so it can actually justify branching out, taking a winding path around there. And we may get to see that here. Usually that winding path involves some upgrade centers, oftentimes additional economy. But we'll see.
Architect is honestly a really
They're
good
going
pick
to
against
go
Eagle Eye
for
because
here.
the wood can build so fast to tank the second shot that's been banked up. It's honestly a really good
Yes.
choice for them to go here.
Honestly, that's true of everything. Be it nukes, like, oh no, Seep is coming with nukes. I just saw the nuke launch. Let me instantly build a nuke catcher. Like, on reaction.
Yeah.
There's a reason Architect is one of my favorite commanders. It's like top 2 for me. It solves everything. And it's great for tech switching. Speaking of which, we are seeing something resembling a standard build out for Monkey Air Force here with the Architect Commander. We're not seeing an upgrade center or any kind of wild shenaniganery out of
That
it.
is interesting, yes.
We will see
Both
the...
doing EMP as well.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. We will see the classic, the EMP, harassment EMP, coming up
The
from both
Eagle
teams.
EMP.
Yeah.
There we go.
Launched at the same time, too. And impact. That's pretty devastating, actually. Finn on the left-hand side getting their core shut down. That's going to harm their energy production. And on the right-hand side, Teutonic loses a couple of their mines, at least temporarily. As Finn has now defended against the EMP by virtue of the thick wood.
No, Teutonic, he doesn't have his last mine, he just has 4. I don't think he notices. Oh god.
That's painful to see. Loss of that actual mine. I've had that happen to me before, where I just forget to build the last mine. I'm like, why don't I have money? Oh, I never actually built my worker.
Gore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tunnel vision trying to defend the EMP because it's so annoying.
Oh, I got it.
You get
It
the last
really
mine.
is just tilting, isn't it? Like that's the like half of the EMP damage. Yeah, sure it shuts you down. Yeah, sure it causes some actual damage, but it's tilting. And it makes you want to
The
sit there
1d4
just with the sniper.
1d4 psychic damage,
1d4 psychic damage. There we go. We see Teutonic finishing up their mine there. As we see the howitzer placed first for Monkey Air Force. So that'll give Monkey Air Force a bit of an advantage in the opening shots. As we have seen many a time, the first howitzer to fire can oftentimes end the game. So even if it fires with just a single second of advantage, that can be the difference between winning and losing. And, well, remember when Teutonic placed the howitzer first? It just got shut down by an EMP, so that's going to delay it.
Twice.
Oh, and it got shut down again. So where once Team Fortified was behind Team Monkey Air Force, that EMP just resolved that problem, and now Team Fortified is ahead. We see the early ignite fire beam coming out from Ambrulo, attacking helicopter, trying to get that timing attack, burn out helicopter's weapons during the construction phase. There's the sniper, just sitting there, waiting for the EMP. Yeah, remember that there's that 1d4 psychic damage coming in. And, oh, EMP on Ambrulo. I am surprised these EMPs still exist. Like, the snipers have revealed themselves, and the EMPs have not been taken out yet.
Yes,
Looks like helicopter
the tiny
going
doors are tiny.
They are quite tiny. Looks like helicopter going straight for the core, and Brulo has enough to defend against it. But yes, Team Fortified is officially ahead of Team Monkey Air Force in the howitzer construction, and not enough damage has been dealt to either side to cause the Architect Commander ability to fill. And without the Architect Commander ability filled, Team Monkey Air Force can't catch up. Oh, it's so close, 98%, but it's just not enough. You know, this is a moment where you're like, I'm gonna purposely reveal my EMP to take this damage, so we could make it go faster.
Or shoot a bit of few sniper shots in hope that it would be enough.
Yes. Alright, well, Monkey Air Force charges their commander ability, but just in time for the howitzer to complete naturally.
Maybe Fortified will actually wait for the Eagle Eye passive to kick in for the howitzer.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do, and certainly I would do that, because the Eagle Eye double reload, it's just that good. We've seen it, we saw it, a great example of it last week during the semifinals, where it just clean swept teams, just entirely out of the game, multiple times. It was... well, not surprising, but very powerful nonetheless. A beautiful shot. Howitzer flies, deals a lot of damage, but is caught by Finn. Finn, who places a beach of sand tags in front. And we see the double shot.
Ooh, the double shot. Wow.
That's it.
Oh man.
Just as we were saying, the Eagle Eye clean sweep, it's beginning again. As Teutonic is obliterated, their foundations vaporized, disintegrated. There's not even anything connecting to that foundation anymore. Howitzer, double shot howitzer, very strong. Well, that leaves helicopter. Helicopter in a dream. Helicopter trying for the door snipe, doesn't quite get it. Gets door sniped in the process. I've said it before, and it's worth saying again, that anytime there are lasers in play, especially the plasmas, you can't quite count a player out, because plasmas are so disgustingly good at door sniping that anytime their opponents try to fire their weapons, helicopter can just remove the weapons and potentially win the game that way, as we've seen many a time. Nice use of the EMP as anti-howitzer. That will keep helicopter alive.
Oof. Oh, jeez.
But the follow-up is still devastating.
That looked lethal, but it wasn't somehow.
Yeah. The helicopter just quick on the rebuild. Taking advantage of that architect passive for quick wood reconstruction. able to catch some of that damage before it burns all the way through their base and completely disconnects everything. Also, helicopters just very fast at the high APM thing, so they're able to catch the base before massive deformation takes hold. So that's nice. Very, very good for helicopter. Oh, door snipe? Not quite.
Oh,
Hmm.
Close, but not quite there. Helicopter's staying in it. Oh. Can they... Oh,
And the second
nope.
one.
The EMP. It's
Oh.
not open. It can't fire. This is potential. This is... How is this not lethal? Helicopter's so close to collapsing.
Raw skill right there.
Oh, man. That's... I would say they're crutching on Architect's passive. Which they kind of are. But Helicopter... I mean... Crutch is a strong word. Crutch is just a strong word to describe this, because you have to be not only precise, but incredibly quick with your movements in order to make that happen. That's intense. So Helicopter just staying in it for the moment, just hanging in there. Trying to get those weak spot snipes in Ambrulo's base and try to mitigate a lot of that damage. I was gonna say, every time Ambrulo opens their doors, Helicopter's just immediately replying with firepower, trying to get door snipes in there. Not quite getting it, but it's they're
Bruno
threatening
has
every
3
time.
snipers just for this single laser.
Yes. He's sick and tired of helicopter
there we
laser beams.
go.
Oh,
Yeah,
there it
this is
is.
wow.
Death by collapse. Death by buzzsaw, as Team Fortified wins match 2 in this best of 5. Well played, well played.
This is definitely heading towards an upset.
It is, as Team Fortified is looking to claim their place as 3rd in the bronze. And in doing so, they can get themselves that sweet, delicious prize money. I'm so excited. Eagle Eye strikes again. All right. So we're getting set up here for round 3 in this best of 5. Match point for Team Fortified. Let's go ahead and check out some of those moments here. As here comes the howitzer. Ooh. Yep, it's a lot of damage. And suddenly, complete disintegration.
I think when that happened, Eaton said, "Oh man," right at the right time.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
I think he would have been okay if
Yeah.
he didn't put the Howie on the front strut because it insta-killed it and destroyed everything. I think he actually would have been fine
Oh
otherwise.
yes.
Ah.
I mean, that's always the case.
Not if he put it on the back, I think he would have survived because he had a lot of defense and Architect allows him to catch the plasma shot, so... it's just
Yeah,
so
but who puts
frustrating,
it back
actually.
there? It cuts so much of your angle, firing angle.
No, just the
It's
strut that's farther back. There's 2 struts up there to put the Howie on. He put it on the front one, so the strut died
I see what
and
you're
the
saying.
Howie
I see what you're
exploded.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you put
Yeah, I
it
see what
just
you're
the one
saying. It's like
strut
the howitzer
back, like
itself
just a few
didn't-
pixels back. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
The Howie wouldn't have died because Architect could save from the plasma shot, but the strut instantly dying kills the Howie, so...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ah, it's so close too.
Forward
He just had
strut
to move it
dies,
back a
killing the
little bit.
howitzer dies. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because like I have seen that build where people put the howitzer like way in the back, so even if the howitzer hits the foundation, like the shell hits the foundation, the howitzer doesn't take all that much damage at all because it's too far back. It's like it's outside the splash range.
Yeah.
but obviously that means you can only ever shoot directly at to like one particular spot on your direct opponent, which is usually enough to win the game. But that's a bit limiting.
Yeah, and I mean, it should give some field of range, honestly, because it'll shoot top base straight on, right? But then if he changes the power of the
Yes.
Howie, it can probably hit lower, just not higher, I guess.
Yes, it will just take longer path, and so it can be shut down easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Although I don't think
and
either team really
realistically,
had
once you
any-
that's
Yes,
true.
yeah, of
Does
course.
does the EMP count as anti-air?
I think you're right. The EMP definitely counts, but outside of that, yeah.
I mean, let me check. Does one EMP suffice? I think it does.
I think so.
All
I mean,
right.
it hits one of two.
Ladies and
that's
gentlemen,
enough.
we're off to round 3 of this best of 5. Match point for Team Fortified as they are up 2-0 in this series so far. As it is Fortified running Seep versus Monkey Air Force running Pinchfest. Oh my.
And yes, one EMP is sufficient to destroy a howitzer shell.
Yes, as we did see an example of last round. It did actually save helicopter. It saved helicopter, I think twice. The classic triple turbine opener. Also, the sniper, and Brulo being a gremlin, just tickling the energy production here. We're only 70 seconds into the match, and helicopter already has the heavy weapons tech down. Like that's welcome the pinch fist rushes. Good lord, it's beautiful. Makes me so very happy. Well, it looks like we're actually seeing. So this is the missile rush that I prefer to see. Throughout the FPL we have seen a lot of one player going for swarm missiles and the other player going for energy weapons to support. This time we're seeing quad missile launcher, which is, in my experience, the higher percentage play. We'll see quad missile launcher with lots of sniping. Oh, that hurts. Oh, speaking of sniping. So 2 things happened there. Umbrulo lost 2 of the wind turbines, losing out that energy production there to a buzzsaw. That's going to set them back pretty heavily. The swarm missile rush tactic is extremely energy dependent, so losing your turbines for any reason is painful. But lose them they have. But it wasn't a free win there for Monkey Air Force. The Monkey Air Force did get their buzzsaw sniped out for that, so it's definitely Monkey Air Force favored that trade, but it is not free. As we see the upgrade centers finishing up here for Team Fortified, we're going to see. I wonder if they're going to launch the swarms. They should probably launch the swarms. I mean, there are turbines that aren't rear turbines, so the helicopter's vulnerable to getting their turbines preyed upon.
Yeah. Oh, not even.
There they are. Oh,
Yeah,
going
the
straight to the
mine's
foundation.
actually.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Ouch. Yeah.
It pens
this
and
hurts
deals
much
damage.
more than turbines.
It does.
Yeah.
Not only did it
Yeah.
break through the foundation and cause some damage there, but it actually took out a couple mines, which is way more destructive. Way more value. So these swarm missiles are weapons that I describe as hybrid weapons. The reason I describe them as hybrid weapons is because they aren't heavy weapons, they aren't good at breaking bases. However, if you get enough of them, they are capable of breaking bases. Compare this to a machine gunner, which is just, for all intents and purposes, incapable of breaking wood, no matter how many of them you have. But swarm missiles, if you get 4 of them and focus something like the foundation, can break through armor and deal damage behind it. That's why I refer to them as hybrid weapons. But we see an example of them being used in that role. We're saying, hey, these swarm missiles good at harassing wind turbines, maybe expose things, we can take things out. But if we have 4 of them, we're just going to kill your mines. And that's exactly what they did. Team Fortified now swapping out 2 of those swarm missile launchers for nukes, and the damage is about to ramp up as we see Monkey Air Force here preparing for that inevitability. They're well aware that the nukes can't launch just yet, so they're not quickly developing anti-air, but they are developing anti-air at the moment and getting prepared to take hits from those heavier hitting missiles. Looks like Helicopter, rather than using anti-air, is going to be going with the option to just face tank things. The joy of Pinch Fist is they get their weapons out quicker, so they can just tank for a longer period. They can just tank instead of having to fight for long-term control, and instead punish the opponents by virtue of cannon fire, which has begun. And in doing so, they've eliminated all of Embrulo's energy production again, which is going to, at this point, extremely delay Embrulo's missile launch, as we have seen.
Yeah, he can only barely launch that nuke.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, but a devastating hit. Massive damage. Helicopter's core down to 49%, losing all defenses around their cannon and some energy production along the way. That's not the world you want to live in. Remember when Helicopter's building defenses to face tank the nuke without taking damage? Yeah, they didn't pan out for him. Howitzer flies,
Yeah, they need some.
but is defended. Enough
This is not
anti-air
going
and
through.
fortified. The question here is, when will Finn be launching their missiles again? Because their energy production's been uncontested, so they should have enough. There it is. Swarms launch. Nukes fly. Nuke lands, taking out the anti-air, the machine gunner nest. But the machine gunner nest is inexpensive and expendable, so that will be replaced soon. However, its brief loss will render the next launch of nukes pretty free to fly across uncontested. It looks like Team Fortified has recognized that Monkey Air Force is not strongly contesting the air, and therefore they can safely upgrade to quad nukes for maximum damage. That'll make things a little bit more difficult for Monkey Air Force once the damage is actually on the field. It's worth noting that the Seep Commander, as we'll probably get to see here, causes nukes, when they are taken out of the sky, to split into swarm missiles. So swarm missiles are not an actual requirement here, because you get swarm missiles for free by virtue of being the Seep Commander. Look at that. This sniping from Team Fortified has been top tier so far. Every time someone in Monkey Air Force tries to contest, the sniper comes out and just bullies it. Bullies it back to the Dark Ages. That howitzer has
Yeah.
not been high value. Teutonic went howitzer, but it hasn't panned out. Team Fortified just has too much map control. Team Monkey Air Force isn't able to contest it. I mean, they're kind of sort of contesting it, but they're not contesting it very hard. And they need to spend on shotguns, they need to spend on something to change this, or just send a lot more cannons, which seems to be the solution so far, and it's working. It just means that this howitzer is not going to do anything, pretty much for the rest of the game. You may as well just sell it, swap it for a cannon, probably the sooner you get started on that, the better. Because Team Fortified's not giving up
Teutonic
that
is
map
gonna
control.
That's an EMP there on his base, right? I think he just got.
Is that an
There's a
EMP?
flag.
I think that's a
And
flag.
the second
Okay, it's flag.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a second
4
flag.
nukes.
Well, that's gonna hurt a lot.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Helicopter
Follow up.
barely surviving, down to 34%. That's
just
a
needs
lot
to
of
get-
damage.
More AA. Because it's only nukes
mean,
now,
yeah.
so if they have like 4 gunners, yeah.
Well, it's nukes, but they're Seep
I think
nukes.
they
Like
can
they
still
split
win.
into swarms. So like, in my opinion, I think they should definitely contest the air more. But they're I just getting a sandbag wall is definitely a viable alternative. I mean, nuke's gonna get stopped by it. It'll work, and you could just cannon. I do actually like the choice of 20 mil here because it does a lot of damage to the machine gunners. At a rare moment where I actually like 20 mils being used. I think this is a wonderful use of the 20 mils here. Poor Teutonic every time they build a sniper.
Oh boy.
Oh, 20 mil exposed.
Yeah, that's hurts.
Cannon immediately hunts it.
Oh.
Oh, the nuke
Oh my
goes under the
gosh.
sandbags. Oh, it's so painful. Like, we would need to see that in slow motion so you guys could actually see what happened there. The nuke went inside the base through the holes in the base. That's devastating. Helicopter down to 3%. Like, you can't rely on that anymore. Like, if you're doing the face tank strategy, you expect to take chip damage. You don't have the HP to take chip damage anymore. You can't do that. You have to rely on machine gunners. You cannot get hit anymore whatsoever. 3%. And for Team Monkey Air Force, helicopter's the only one dealing real damage here. Teutonic with the howitzer, they're not getting it done. They need non-howitzer weaponry. Oh no. The helicopter just lost all of their machine gunners to fortified snipers. The nuke's gonna launch.
He doesn't have any energy. That's the thing. He could keep shooting the cannons, but he has no turbines left. He keep dying to miniguns.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have a shield.
They're
'cause he
just
keeps getting
look at
hit by
that.
the-
It's
the nuke.
It's gonna be 4
uncontested.
nukes.
I think he'll be okay. Oh, he's gonna die.
Yep.
That's it.
Absolutely not.
He didn't have energy for
Well, that
sandbags. I
was-
think he would have been okay.
That was clinical. Like, Team Fortified,
Yep.
they put together the strategy they needed, and they got it done. Like, there was nothing. Monkey Air Force got beaten so hard there that they weren't even able to contest the nukes as they flew across. 4 nukes splashing onto helicopter's base took 3 of them out, or tanked 3 of them, but the 4th was, I mean, face tanking 4 nukes. It just doesn't happen. That's just way too much damage. God, the minigunners clearing up. Look at that. Mines exposed and undefended. Minigunners coming in to chew.
Oh.
And there it is.
Good flag.
Worstly paid flag.
Killed half a nuke.
A
Oh my
clean victory. Team Fortified wins this one. That was absolutely devastating. See, this is why I like the quad nuke play. You play Seep, every player goes swarm missiles. You all in or you die trying. None of this
yes.
laser beam nonsense. Oh, jeez.
Science is for the others.
Yes. Team
No science in
Fortified
here.
wins the bronze match, winning the series, taking 3rd place in the Forts Pro League, knocking out Monkey Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, they did it.
Yeah, in a clean sweep. Just super impressive.
A clean sweep. That was wonderful. Like, that was just exquisitely executed. Absolutely wonderful. I love to see it. It makes me happy. Like, I know this is one of the reasons, and I realize Eaton is here, and I'm talking about him while he's in the room. But one of the reasons I love watching Eaton play is that he's so incredibly. Look at the nuke. It just went underneath the sandbags
Oh, yeah,
there.
that's-
Who does that?
That's so painful to watch.
Oh god. Anyways, as I was saying, the cleanness, the just perfect execution of these shots, as we see here. This is what makes me happy to see this. And this is why I love watching players just like Eaton especially, because Eaton does so much optimization that it is impressive to watch. especially when it's executed so flawlessly. And this was a beautiful execution. I haven't even talked about some of the other things they were doing. Like, did you guys notice that in all of that, Team Fortified upgraded all of their mines through behind that? Like, they had plans and they were going places. They didn't drop anything. All of their T's were crossed, all of their I's were dotted. And it was beautiful. Made me so very happy.
Yeah, they were so on top of map control. It's just Helicopter and Helicopter and Teutonic could never get any of their howies through, and they were always getting hit by nukes because they didn't snipe enough. Didn't make like the miniguns from top base were destroying everything.
The miniguns did way
shotguns for
more
sure.
damage than they had any right to.
Yeah.
That was good. Alright, so we're going to check out the bracket here so you guys can see what's coming up next. What's coming up next is the Grand Finals. Skill Gap versus Westwind. Will be another best of 5. You guys get to see your favorite matches here. Alright guys, so we're gonna take a quick break here, so grab your drink, grab your snack, grab your refills, as we'll be going into the finals here shortly. And I'll see you guys at the other end of the countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you've got your drinks, hope you've got your snacks, because we're about to get set up here and jump right into the finals. You guys have followed throughout the entire season the stories, the journeys of Team Westwind and Team Skill Gap. And they're here. They're here to take first place. We're going to find out who manages to grab that medal. Are you guys excited? I want to see you guys in chat. Which team is your favorite? Which team do you think will win? Which team are you rooting for? And what strategies do you want to see them play? As we're getting set up here, we're about to jump into it. Now, 42. I believe there's some technical changes that are happening here regarding this matchup. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
Yes. It turns out that one of the players was not able to be there right now. So the teams have had to replay the match, sadly. And so we will have to watch the replay instead.
Yes.
So
none
of us know, none of us have seen this replay.
I am the only one who knows of the outcome of this replay, but I have not watched it in its entirety either. So it will still come as a surprise somewhat.
Yes.
Excellent.
So the finals match was actually played, I believe it was earlier today?
Yes, it was a bit earlier.
Yes, it was a bit earlier today, just before the stream started. And we'll be showing you guys the replay of it here live. So none of us have seen this, none of us know what's going to happen. We just know that it has already happened. And we'll get to see this live as it goes down. It looks like Balls isn't banned again. Oh darn it.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
No ball swing this time around.
We're gonna have to have just a balls tournament, I think, just to scratch everyone's itch.
Maybe just a one-off event, maybe.
Only balls.
Devs try their
Sorry.
calling.
That had too many double meanings. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, we see Skylines banned. That's not uncommon. Snow leopards. Snow leopards and Skylines have been like the most banned, I think, aside from maybe balls.
Yes.
I think balls.
Stats, but I think
if
that's
I recall
correct.
correctly, balls isn't banned the most. It's just also not picked the most. So it just doesn't tends to not get played unless it ends up.
Yeah.
As like
So the two
leftover.
most banned maps are Skylines and Snow Leopards. Balls is third, and it's sometimes used as leftover. It's sometimes picked as well, more than the other two at least.
Yeah. It's not setting the bar very high, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of these rather odd maps that you don't it's difficult. It's such an odd map. You need to do like specific strategies for it. And while the strategies are fun, it just doesn't translate to any of the other maps. So it's not as disliked as some of the other maps, like Snow Leopards, for example. But it also people just don't want to deal with the extra stress. All right, so let's check out the commanders next. Do we have any bans? Oh, Phantom isn't banned, which means we probably have someone going the psychological damage option. Eagle Eye and Seep are both banned. Not a surprise. No surprises there. A Buster pick.
Buster, let's go.
Interesting. Now that's a commander that is incredibly powerful. There's the Phantom. Oh boy. Team Westwind picking both Buster and Phantom. Going off meta for this. Buster is one of those commanders that's incredibly powerful in bigger matches, and in matches where you have high economy. So you're generally playing a 4v4 kind of map. Buster is just busted. But if for 2v2s or 1v1s, it's just not as powerful. It doesn't have that doesn't get to scale as high. So he's fine, but you tend to get overpowered by most of the other commanders. Phantom, on the other hand, is just... You don't pick Phantom because you want to use Phantom. You pick Phantom because you want to threaten Phantom. And Phantom has been picked. So we'll see if that's a thing. I hope it does become a thing, because it's always fun to watch that happen.
42. Was there any substitutes in this battle?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, cool.
Normally, it should be all the original players that you have learned to love throughout these last weeks.
Great.
Excellent. All right, well, it looks like we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and jump into the first match. Are you guys ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yes.
And we're off. And we're opening with Buster. Oh, we love to see it. We're starting with the wild ones. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting it off with an unusual pick here in this best of 5. Team Westwind here on the left-hand side, opening with Buster. Now, Buster is a commander we don't often see. It is similar to Warthog in that it empowers heavy weapons, but it only empowers cannons. And when it empowers them, it doesn't make them just do categorically just straight damage multiplier as we see with Warthog. Instead, it increases the armor penetration, as well as it increases the armor penetration, as well as adding an incendiary effect to them. So when you fire a cannon, it hits the opponents. It pens deep, causing it to deal internal damage regardless of anywhere it hits, and then ignites everything, causing even more internal damage. So that's pretty simple to handle when you're in a 1v1, maybe even in a 1v2, but when you have, let's say, 4 players worth of cannons, it becomes devastating. It's very much so an attritional type commander, where you hit the guy with cannon after cannon after cannon and just constantly keep their base on fire, constantly keep whittling them away with the armor pen, and they just eventually burn and collapse. That's how Buster works. On the other hand, Team Skill Gap over here on the right-hand side in the red is going Pinch Fist and is just going to be blasting their opponents out of the sky. So that's going to be nice. You'll love to see that.
EMP.
Always
We
more
have
EMP.
the classic EMP heading for the turbines. A beautiful hit, shutting down 2 turbines and a core. That's just
basically
painful.
2,000 energy. 2,000 just with one hit.
That's and they do it again.
And core damage too.
They do it again. And core damage because the EMP got close enough, but they brought the core down to 93%. It's beautiful.
Dude, stop.
Malm is a little bit in trouble. That's a lot of damage is what that is. We do see an EMP coming out of Malm here in the bottom left corner. But it isn't prepared to fire. Turns out taking an EMP hit to the face too many times is going to cause everything you own to be delayed. As it's delayed to the point where, look at that, Malm just finishing up their heavy weapons tech right now, and across the field, what do we have? It's a howitzer already placed and under construction. As Clow is looking to bring the fire.
Oh, this EMP is doing catastrophic economical damage.
It really is. 3 more mines shut down. As the EMP actually returns fire, shutting down the howitzer production. These EMPs, why are you letting this happen? All the EMPs are getting across the board for everyone. EMP flies again. Wow, pass through, no damage. It shuts the core down again.
EMP MVP.
Oh yes.
You know, when everyone's
true.
getting all of their things delayed to this degree, you may as well just as if no one built an EMP. Welcome to forts. Oh, the machine gunner
Come on,
tried so
come
hard,
on.
and it gets sniped. Westwind keep it on top of the sniper game, but not enough on top of it to deal with the EMP. Team Skill Gap selling off their EMPs. They don't need it anymore, replacing it with more laser beams, which you'll love to see. I am myself in the top right, just about finishing up their weaponry. They're about to have the fire beam laser beam combo good and ready to go, as there is quad cannons coming up from Team Westwind. The problem for Team Westwind is that Skill Gap is pinch fist, and they have their heavy weapon combo available. So they have to survive this, and I don't think they can survive this. More accurately, I think their weapons can't survive this. I think their cores can. Their weapons not so much. I don't know actually. Geiger
No,
at the
the
top
dual
left
fire
looking a
beam,
little
definitely.
vulnerable. Yeah, dual fire
Yeah,
beam is
and
gonna
this-
do it. At this point, I am myself. As
Yeah.
long as they cross the beams properly, they can do anything they want, including miss entirely. Geiger's
Good option.
surviving. Their howitzer flies, massive damage. Completely exposes the
snipers.
weapons, but no snipers. What happened to your sniper? You had a sniper. Oh, it was walled off.
Oh,
It didn't
yes,
have the
there.
angle. All right. Looks like Melm having to sell off that cannon as a sniper did find it. Fire beams flying, plasma beam aiming, pens the defenses, but there's nothing there to hit. EMP still
Can't really
exists,
afford doors because they're so large.
and there it is.
Wow.
The green empowered cannon, overpenning skill gap space, taking out all of their turbines along the way. It's unfortunate for it.
Didn't even need the active to do that.
This is true.
Yeah.
It didn't do much. But there you see it.
Oh.
The rare instance, the incendiary burning all the way through the base. Touches the howitzer, causing some damage there. I am myself firing the beams again. Oh my
Oh.
god.
Oh, wow.
Straight to the core. Doesn't quite cross the beams, just the regular old plasma is enough to bring Geiger's core down to 22%. Geiger can't take those kind of hits again. That's unacceptable. So, what are we gonna see here is my question. So, Team Westwind here on the left side with Buster. They need to get these cannons firing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, touches the core with the AP rounds, bringing it down to 85%. You see, that's the thing about Buster. You don't have to break their defenses. You just keep hitting them until they explode. Which is a very canon thing to do. It makes cannons even more cannons than they usually are. But EMP anti-air not quite making it as the howitzer lands. This is an interesting fight because all the players involved have weapons, like game-ending amount of weapons, and the teams are both fighting each other to try to live, just survive the volleys. Firebeam hitting a cannon which is under construction. Oh, heavy hit. Cloud's internals becoming fire once again. The sniping from Westwind has been on point so far. Team Skill Gap has no exposed weapons aside from a single sniper of their own, which is alive only because it hasn't been spotted.
No, he missed it.
EMP trying to be anti-air again. And that's it.
Wow. Wow. Nicely done.
Oh, wow. He finally gets the penetration round with the laser beams.
Oh wow.
In rapid succession, Team Skill Gap takes it, obliterating their opponents. That's what I was saying. Both teams had game-ending amounts of damage. They just had to land it in the right spot, and both teams are struggling to their best doing everything they can to make sure that they just barely survived it, every single volley. And that time, that volley, it just wasn't enough. They managed to take it. That was a lot of damage, a lot of pinpoint damage in some very specific places, you know, around the core, specifically.
I want to see those replays.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get them coming up here in a moment because that, I mean, it's just precision damage. Just cannon straight to the core, laser straight to the core, or laser straight to a weapon which is too close to the core. Alright, let's see exactly what happened there in that wonderful replay. Howitzer flies, does a bit of a softening, and true to form, cannon follow-up doing the penetrative power, even
And the fire
ignited
beam.
by the
Oh,
fire beam to make it deal even more damage. I just love seeing the cannon come out the back of the base. It just does that much damage.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
this is a disgusting shot.
That's such a good
It's the
shot.
same
Disgusting.
shot that it's the same shot that killed Eaton, except this time it was entirely
Yeah.
undefended. Unlike Eaton's, which was incredibly well defended. Oh lord.
Anything to say about that, Ethan?
I didn't think that was possible, can be real. I've never had that happen before.
Yeah, I didn't. It's crazy.
It's definitely
It is-
definitely a 1 in a million shot.
Yes. Like I literally
did-
haven't
Yeah, I, mean,
seen
I didn't
that.
put the shield in the same spot, but yeah.
The thing is the player that was
I don't
shooting
wanna talk about
at
it
you
anymore.
was like they were shooting at you like constantly that whole
Yeah, for 10 minutes straight.
10 minutes like looking
Yeah.
for the gap, you know.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
well,
is
I
the weak
honestly
spot
didn't
in the
notice either.
base. That is the weak spot in the base. That's where the tiny brace goes. You hit that spot, you rip off the entire weapons platform. That's the spot to aim. You just don't expect to get a pass through. Like, you expect to destroy the tiny brace that causes the entire thing to chain react, like domino effect, rip off, and take the entire weapon platform with it.
Yeah.
You don't expect to bypass all the armor, hit an explosive internal, and cause secondary explosions that ends the entire game. It's two very different things you're looking for there. Like, that's... but once again, skill gap finds the hole in the enemy defenses. Straight to the cannon. That's twice now. Oh, Lord have mercy. Alright, so... technically, we don't have any cat herding to do, so we are good to go into this next match. In round
We
2
are the
here.
cats.
We are the cats
Yes.
to herd. And so, let's jump right into it, shall we? Perfect. And we're off to round 2 in this best of 3. Team Skill Gap versus Team Westwind. So here we have on the left-hand side, Team Skill Gap playing as the Architect Commander. Architect Commander, we love it. It's one of my favorites, at least. Very good at defensive play, as well as... Well, it's the commander that's best at doing, I think, it's probably the most generic commander. It can do anything. And it does anything well. It doesn't do something exceptionally well, but it does anything well. Which is a very complicated way of stating that sentence, but I think it's the most fitting. Whereas on the other hand, Team Westwind has a goal, because they are playing as Warthog, which means they want heavy weapons. They want to do a lot of damage. They want to do all the damage is what they want. Curious that we see a swarm missile out of them. I didn't expect that. I was wondering what they were doing at the upgrade center. Looks like we're going to see a nuke rush out of Team Westwind. It's going to be nuke rush with laser support.
I mean, nukes are heavy weapons and very heavy at that.
Yeah, they do. The nukes do count as heavy weapons, and they do get empowered by the Warthog active. It's just you don't often see nukes get used with Warthog. while it does synergize with it, technically works, it's just usually the difference between a nuke working and not working is whether or not it makes it across the map, as opposed to whether or not it does enough damage when it impacts. Nukes generally do enough damage when they impact, the question is whether or not they impact. And Warthog doesn't help with that, so you don't often see that, even though you don't often see Warthog nukes, even though they do technically get empowered by it. And it does
Yeah, but
yield
it's also
damage.
it's always funny to see a fire beam ignited Warthog nuke.
Oh my god. That is the most devastating explosion in the game, bar none. It just disintegrates everything.
Nothing left behind. Yes.
Like, usually when a nuke lands, it deletes a couple struts of wood and does massive damage to all the other wood nearby. But when an empowered and when a double empowered Warthog nuke lands, there's no survivors. It's all gone. All of it. It's gone. Wonderful. And what do we got over here is the thing. It's a whole lot of nothing. So typically when we see... they're not even being fast about it. Like, this isn't... I don't even want to call this a... Like, I guess it's technically a rush, but... they're not trying to do the early game aggression with the nukes, it looks like. Like, they launched a swarm, but they didn't... They're not applying pressure. We don't see map control coming out from Team Westwind. This isn't meant to be a... we're gonna kill you before the 5-minute mark nuke. This is a... we're gonna wait till 6 minutes and then try to disintegrate your bases. Which is another strategy you don't often see with nukes. But it does happen. On the other hand, Team Skill Gap is just building defenses and is gonna get around to weapons eventually. We do see a plasma beam placed for their lower player at approximately cannon o'clock timing, so they'll have a laser beam to threaten things. But it looks like they're focusing on defenses and other stuff, not even getting the fire beam placed. So we're probably not going to see a whole lot of aggression out of Team Skill Gap for a hot moment. And look at this. I am myself up here prioritizing economic expansion rather than getting their cannon placed. So there's a whole lot of not aggression coming out of Skill Gap, even though Skill Gap isn't completely toothless. Whereas Westwood, on the other hand, are preparing to do massive damage.
Exactly what I mentioned, yeah.
Yeah. My question is, how is it going to work out for them? Going the double nuke, the fire
If they
beam.
nail the fire beam, this is gonna do so much damage out of the Woodsman, though.
If they can do it, yeah. The fire beam.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah. Oh.
Ooh.
Well, this will charge their commander active. That means next time the nukes, when they're empowered, will wipe things out. But this also charged the Architect commander active, which means suddenly Architect has all the weapons they want. Look at that. Instantly plasma, instantly fire beam. And this cannon is going to be mostly complete by the time this commander active is finished up. So suddenly, Skill Gap has weapons to fire back. And fire back they will. I think he's trying to aim for the metal production on their opponents there. There it is. Alright, fire beam time. Empowered nukes. Oh!
That is so nice.
Manually pre-fired flak. The nukes returned back from whence they came. Malm taking massive damage from their own weaponry. That could have gone so much worse. Malm almost getting eliminated there immediately. So that's intense. Geiger now trying to use the laser beams directly to deal damage. I think they're having trust issues with these nukes now. That cannon looks suspiciously vulnerable to fire beam. Another fire beam shot probably finishes off that top cannon. And I don't know if Geiger recognizes that. Interesting. Geiger is defending against howitzers, which now that I say that aloud makes sense, because their opponents have been playing as if they're going for a howitzer build.
Ooh, close one.
Close, but
good
not
defense.
quite. Team skill gap with bristling with anti-air. Able to defend the nukes once again. Shout out to the plasma taking out one of the missiles from this guy. Oh! Devastating hit. Cloud taking massive damage. Their defense is penetrated. Loses 2 mines in the process. That's... Westwind's gonna smell blood in the water with that one. Selling off... Skill Gap selling off one of their weapons to fund the expansion of their economy once again. Cannon shells fly across the sky, as so too do the nukes.
Oh,
It flies, but is taken out. Team Skill Gap still total map control. The nukes don't make it across. At this point, the only one for Team Westwind that's just dealing damage is Geiger with the laser beams. But across the fields, I am myself now bristling with cannons. The triple cannon is a lot of damage. That's just a lot of damage. You don't want to let your opponents stay on triple cannon for any amount of time. Not that it's any kind of breakpoint, but cannons are economic devastators. Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Firebeam working double shifts, both defending the nuke unsuccessfully and causing damage to the internal components of Clow, causing the internals to explode and well, dealing core damage. Clow down to 54%, whereas across the top I myself once again firing the cannons. As I was saying before, the cannons, like triple cannon isn't some breakpoint that, ends the game or something, but cannons are predominantly economic devastators. They're attritional weapons. They don't unless you do something like that synergizes with them, like a howitzer or a nuke or something, they don't really do penetrative damage. They don't hit a base, penetrate deep, and break its internals. Instead, they just deal a lot of damage. Requires a lot of money to repair, and eventually you just can't pay the repair cost, and then you don't repair, and then the cannons come through and break everything at the base because you don't have armor anymore. And getting up to 3 cannons is an indicator that problems are happening. Like, that's just the pace at which they deal economic damage increases, and it increases a lot, and the more cannons they have, the better. The faster it goes. So getting up to 3 cannons is kind of a lot, and it looks like they're going up to 4 here in a moment, which is quick enough to rapidly end the game. As the nukes, they fly, massive damage. Those weren't even empowered nukes either. If those were empowered nukes, that may have just ended the game outright. Ooh, and there it is. Triple cannon to the same spot. Geiger loses their primary plasma weapon. That's gonna defang a lot of Geiger's capabilities. Without that plasma, there's no cutting deep. There's no real door snipes going on. The fire beams still exist, and because the fire beams exist, Team 2 is still able to defend the nukes.
Yeah.
Yes. The nukes are still a massive threat, but empowered nukes on the field. Oh no, the fire beams are burning.
oh, they didn't.
Oh no! Oh my lord!
It's okay, it gets to
Both
shoot it
nukes
again.
go
'cause it
drunk.
missed.
Oh yeah, it
does.
reloaded it. Yeah. Oh, it didn't.
Oh, sad.
Oh.
Devastating. Those were empowered drunk nukes, not double empowered because the fire beam was on fire, literally. But the empowered nuke get drunk. One deals massive damage to Cloud's front, but It's not enough to end the game. Cloud down to 28%. They cannot take more hits like that. It's not a good position to be in for Team 1, but it's a better position to be in than Westwind right now. As once again, they're trying the empowered nukes, and it goes...
What?
It goes drunk and goes off course. One goes drunk and goes off
Bro,
course,
2
the other gets
times?
shot down completely. It's welcome the drunk nukes. They go wild. Sometimes they miss entirely. Sometimes they decide to do a 180, dodge through infinite anti-air, and slap the back of your core where it's completely undefended. As the cannons are now going direct to Geiger's core, knocking it down to 89%. Geiger very much so on fire. The fire beams not handling it well. No more fire beams remain as the cannons have taken their toll.
Yeah, Mom really needed to go to lasers himself. If he had done an attack and... Okay, he has it now. But yeah, it might be too late.
Yes. Westwind over here is attempting to get a second set of fire beams, so they're not relying on Geiger alone. But at this point, that's 5 cannons. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I thought that
What-
was
Geiger is being poured a brimming glass of cannons.
bottomless cannons. Welcome to Bottomless
my
Cannons Day here in Forts, where it's a lot of damage. Like Geiger doesn't have the money to repair that. They're completely broke.
Oh,
Oh my god. So many machine gunners, and it just ducks and dives through all of it. Look at that. Geiger literally out of money, can't repair, can't rebuild.
There we go.
Okay, yeah.
It's like, what do
Well,
you do?
at least-
You can't... You can't have nice things.
Epic dodging skills. What?
It's just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound.
5 cannons, that clock is really quick. The death spiral is the whirlpool. It's sucking them down rather quickly. The nukes, it's like a lead wall. Nothing's making it across that airspace. Geiger selling off all of their internals, just trying to survive for any amount of seconds longer. At this point, Geiger's not trying to defeat their opponents. They're just trying to die slowly to give Malm, his teammate, enough time to get off one more shot, and hopefully the drunk nuke does drunk nuke things. That's everything that's going on right now. But now, Malm has the fire beam, which means the anti-air gonna get burned out of the sky.
Oh,
One nuke
my
lands, but it's
goodness.
not gonna be enough, as the cannons are coming out for blood.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
There
it.
we go.
Death by chip damage. And now the cannons are aiming for their new target. Malm on the chopping block will now be the new target dummy for this cannonade of a fort.
Oh, he grabbed the.
Hey, the first time we see an double empowered nuke landing, taking a massive chunk, you can see the circle of damage that the nuke dealt, just disintegrating everything around it. Wood does not survive. Malm does manage to reclaim the burning husk of their teammate. This is going to give them access to an actually decent economy. It's not the economy of Team Skill Gap. Team Skill Gap is at maximum economy, fully upgraded, whereas Westwind is not. But at least they do have 2 bases worth of economy.
What do you mean?
Really?
Dude, 4 of them. 4 drunk nukes have gone below the base. That's actually insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow,
At that
okay.
point, you just gotta aim anywhere else, because the nukes, you gotta give them a chance of hitting somewhere else, because that's...
I mean, he's trying to get the RNG hook shot, I think.
Yes, he is.
Yes, because
I think
you
so.
think one of these times it would do it, but
Yeah.
Like, it's... Eventually, you roll the dice enough times, it'll happen. But... Ah, man. Rolling the dice 4 times and getting no damage out of it is painful. I mean, here's the thing. It's only 2 nukes, which
yeah.
I know is a weird phrase to say, but it's only 2 nukes. 2 nukes is not going to be digging through Cloud's the front of their base anytime soon. Wow, that fire beam coming in clutch. Oh yeah, so the cannons are doing cannon things, digging through. Malm still has the money to repair for the moment, but that will change rapidly. I shout out to Team Skill Gap. They're focusing the mines first because they know full well that these cannons win via attritional damage, and they're like, "Huh, you can't survive if you don't have money to pay your medical expenses." So that's what they're doing. They're attacking the economy first, and it's very effective.
Yes!
God,
After like 8 attempts, finally gets it. And the nuke goes wild, dropping in from below, bypasses the defenses entirely, hitting the core directly, and with it, Kalau falls. But here's the thing. Now there is no such RNG shot available against the final remaining skill gap player. So
famous last words.
Okay, so it's technically possible to land. Yeah, it is possible to land it at the cannons, especially if it's empowered. It can delete some braces, cause the entire collapse. There is no obvious shot. Unlike against Cloud, you could obviously get a drunk
fire beam coverage.
Yes. So that kind of thing, we're not expecting this to happen again. Like, you can't purposefully aim for that shot. Against Cloud, you could purposefully aim for that shot because it was visibly there. There is no such place here for I Am Myself. You just have to deal enough damage that something fails catastrophically, which is always possible. It's always possible to anyone's fort. But here's the thing. Making that happen is so much more rare and inconsistent, and that there's no place to aim that. You just have to aim center mass and hope it hits something. Whereas Team Skill Gap over here with their quintuple cannons they've put Malm here on a timer, a very fast timer. And it's a little bit gonna be rough. At the moment, the nukes are aiming for the expansion. They're trying to prevent build-up, to stop runaway expansion, runaway lead. But man, I am surprised to still see Skill Gap aiming for the expansion slot rather than directly for the core. We know those cannons can aim for the core. They've done it already and killed half of the turbines in the process. So this is interesting to me.
Tunnel vision.
I think that's the appropriate description. There we go. Cannon's now aiming toward the core. You can do it. Oh no. That's an expensive connector. Very expensive connector. But worth it. Are those portals? Dude's doing a return to sender. Yeah, I was about to say, the cannon's gonna shut that down real quick. Like, you hear portal sounds. All you're doing is drawing aggro from the cannons. Let's see. Another volley from the nukes. Again, those nukes are aiming for the expansion slot. I am surprised to see I myself upgrade those to nukes rather than keep them as swarms. Because the swarms are anti-portal, anti-energy shield. Alright, yeah, there's core damage. Taking out tech in the process. Malm does not have the money to repair that. That's semi-permanent damage. You just have to hope that your opponent doesn't shoot you again. That's the solution there. and you shoot back and hope your opponent doesn't shoot you, because you can't fix that. It's checkmate has been discovered. It's just a matter of, because this is an RTS, can your opponent take enough turns to actually get there before you end the game yourself. Oh, the cannons. That is so expensive. Those portals, I mean, you gotta try to build the portals, because otherwise those cannons are gonna end you. But those portals are so stupidly expensive, and getting them destroyed like that, that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. Here they come again. I'm not allowed to have nice things. Not even a little bit. Malm's expansion to Geiger's 1 space is just devoid of all things. Nuke flies across the sky, first nuke launch from Team Skill Gap. Does nothing. Westwind's got plenty of anti-air, but, more importantly, the return to sender has come online. Team Westwind actually has defenses against these cannons now. That's going to stabilize them a bit. That's going to give them a chance to live. I still don't see a great path to victory here. I mean, nukes are always okay. Well,
Death.
yeah. I was about to say, like, I don't see a great path to victory, but if you throw enough nukes, you can always win. Just eventually. But oh god, losing all but one of your mines. That's devastating. This is a part where Team Skill Gap needs to downgrade their nukes into swarm missiles. Is yeah, those cannons are just gonna keep punishing Malm here. Machine gun on machine gun violence. Well, there goes the anti-air. They're selling off their tech, yeah. Westwind is selling off all of their tech, hoping to fund an economic development. Oh
No, he repaired. Oh.
Oh, the timing on that. The return to sender
repaired.
shut down at like the same instance it's needed. Oh no. And the nuke's gonna land. Look at it.
Yeah.
The cannons. This base is turned to Swiss cheese. It's just holy in every sense of the word. And there you have it. Team Skill Gap wins round 2 in this best of 5 to some absolutely devastating damage. That is... wow. You know, I'm impressed with Malm there. Not only did they hang on for a long time, but they did real counter damage, including destroying an entire opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Did not see that one coming. That got more exciting than I expected it to get. And this makes me happy. I want to see the replays. That is what I want to see. Yeah. Here we have the crunch.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, yeah. That's core dodging all those cannon shells is what that is. Who needs a core swing when you can just be this good at dodging? And then here we have the cannons just going straight through it. There it is. Now this is the shot that I'm convinced that Team Westwind was going for the first place. You get the nuke trunk, and then it does that nonsense.
Force-seeking nuke.
Yeah. It just dodges through all the anti-air, just swirls around the defenses, comes up from nowhere, comes up from the depths, slaps the core itself. And here, this is why you always put batteries next to the core, by the way. Because when you explode, you want to make sure you explode in the best of ways.
Yup, like that.
Death by battery. That was awesome is what that was. All right. So team skill gap goes up 2-0 in this best of 5. That means we're on match point. If team
Yes.
skill gap wins this next one, they'll get a clean sweep in these finals. Oh my. I was not expecting a clean sweep for the finals, but we may just get that. All right, well, I am certainly ready to get into this next match. What about you guys?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well then, let's do it. So we have Team Westwind versus Team Skill Gap in what is potentially the final match of the Forts Pro League. We have what's shaping up to be a fairly standard match here. We have here on the left-hand side, it is Team Westwind playing as the Pinch Fist Commander. We're going to see the classic, the giveaway, the triple turbine, as they'll be rushing through the early game with the minimum most amount of base structure and the most amount of technology compared to their opponents on the other side. The right hand, in the red, Team Skill Gap, playing as the Warthog Commander. Something... It looks like they're doing a pretty standard style build here. Cloud taking extra care to lean their core back a little bit. Give them a little extra play. Now this is a map which is a little bit odd. Specifically for the rearmost bases, is they have to get themselves connected to an notably far expansion. It's an easy expansion to connect to, but it's a little expensive to connect to. This does have to be taken into account when you're doing your timings and such.
And we see an evil buzzsaw from Mame.
Yeah. Buzzsaws are popular on this map for specifically the expansion reasons. Because the expansion is so long, it requires... Effectively, it forces the players to make it out of wood. And because it's made out of wood, we see a buzzsaw disconnect their opponent's expansion. Because they can. There is a sniper out for Team Skill Gap. Once that buzzsaw fires and reveals itself, it's going to get sniped. But it can deal amazing damage in the meantime. Sometimes I don't know what's worse, the damage it deals in just disconnecting it, or the deformation it could potentially deal if it doesn't disconnect it. I'm not sure which is worse, actually. You see EMP fired. It does hit Geiger, and in doing so deals wonderful damage. However, there is a sniper. Oh no, tell me that EMP doesn't have line of sight on the enemy's core from here. It's hard-walled from Malm's upper angled sniper, but it might have line of sight onto the opponent's core. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they can. Oh, maybe he has to. Yeah, he has to build it out farther, and then it will. Yeah.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Look at that. That definitely has line of sight now. Buzzsaw revealed. But no sniper anymore for Team Skill Gap. Team Skill Gap lost all of their snipers, which means this buzzsaw will survive, and with it, it is free to cause rampant damage. However, Team Westwinds doesn't much care for whatever Team Skill Gap is doing, because they're planning on just blowing them out of the sky. They are Pinch Fist. It's 3.5 minutes into the game. They already have a howitzer a quarter of the way done, which is a very Pinch Fist thing to do.
And it's not vulnerable to bastards for once.
Yes, for once. Not gonna get a reset. Last time we saw this matchup on this map, they didn't metal the front of this, so they just got buzzsawed and lost all their weapons immediately, which
And
was devastating.
Skilgap hasn't, by the way.
Oh, it made.
Oh, the EMP's still doing things. So the whole gimmick of Pinch Fist is that it gets its weapons and generally gets everything out faster than its opponents. That the whole gimmick is going to get completely mitigated and disrupted if that EMP keeps hitting that spot. That's 3 times. That's
it's
going to
30
officially
seconds.
that's officially going to put Team Skill Gap in the lead for the race of fastest weapons on the field. Like,
40
oh,
seconds.
it does it
Oh my
again.
gosh, why is he not putting more?
no.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Oh no. Please tell me he sold off the EMP. He just sells off the EMP. He's like,
Throw that.
my job here is done. I must go. My
I've done
metal
my
must
part."
be used for more things. Yes. Like, he actually, this is a perfect example of EMP. Skill Gap was behind in weapons.
Oh no. Oh,
Oh, that was close.
Oh my god.
That
Oh,
was
wow.
so close. And that was right where the EMP was too. Like, they just sold it off to replace it with armor to defend. Like, oh god, the timing on that. The timing on that. Too real. Too good. Well, so that's gonna put Skill Gap in the lead. Not only is a perfectly timed EMP to defend themselves from the Fire Beam Plasma Beam combo, but the EMP got out and disabled West Wind's cannons for long enough for Skill Gap to get their howitzer first. That means this howitzer is gonna fly clear across the field, impact wherever it wants to impact, and honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do with this. Like, they're not. You don't have your Plasma Beam follow-up. Yes, you do.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, that
Sheesh.
was clean.
Wow. At 6 minutes.
Yeah. Empowered Howitzer plus Empowered Plasma Beam cuts clean through their opponents. Team Westwind loses a player. Geiger falls, burns to laser fire as Malm tries to collect.
Oh,
Good
wow.
door snipe.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've said it before and I'll say it again. As long as a player has plasma beams, they're never out of the game because, as we just saw, Skill Gap just lost all of their cannons to a single door snipe. You'll love to see it. Unless you're Team Skill Gap, then you hate to see it. So now it's effectively a 1v1 with laser on laser violence. Team Westwind versus Team Skill Gap. It is on a timer. Team Westwind has to do something about Team Skill Gap, or they're eventually going to get blasted by the cannon rebuild. But they've got like a solid 3-4 minutes before they have to worry about that. And that's 3-4 minutes of lasers dueling, where I myself is literally sitting here with open doors, waiting for the opportune moment.
This is laser 4D chess with multiverse time travel.
That's what it feels like, because when you're doing laser on laser violence, you're not trying to you're not trying to break bases. You're trying to door snipe, which means you have to read your opponent, get in their head, predict things, listen to audio cues, react to things you cannot see. You react to things that are not visible. Like, what are you seeing? More importantly, what are you not seeing? What's in this picture? More importantly, what's not in this picture? So you can get that door snipe. And when you get it, it's literally it can be literally game-ending amounts of damage, but does Malm have a direct laser shot into I Am Myself's core?
No. No, I don't think.
That's pretty close.
I mean, I think there is a tiny bit of wood that's dangling down.
There
Just-
is
Yeah.
a tiny
Like
bit of
plenty
wood,
Yes.
but that's close.
I think this is bird enough.
Okay. I mean, like, there's no way Malm knows that there's anything close to that, but still.
Unless they're using hacks.
Yeah. Just shout out to Malm getting a beautiful shot onto the howitzer. It damages it, but doesn't do enough to break it. They're not gonna get. They're not getting a follow-up shot on that. Oh,
I was wondering what he was. Why was he
Yeah.
building a
What
big
was he
box?
thinking?
Oh, he's building a big box because there's a howitzer in production, and they need to use the big box to tank the howitzer. But I mean, Buzzsaw in the right place or the wrong place. Oh god, Buzzsaw devastating. I mean, the thing is, if they build the box big enough, then you can't destroy the connection, because the connection is the real weak spot. As long as that connection can't be hit because it's guarded by a box of massive proportions, then the connection is safe. So if they build a giant wooden box structure, then it's, you know, it's all fine and dandy. Unless it gets hit by a buzzsaw. So...
Oh,
Oh wow. Ooh.
yeah. Malm is looking a little beaten down here. The howitzer is about to come online again. I myself's plasma is about to come online again. Malm hasn't been able to get damage dealt with their plasmas. Malm's core is looking mighty vulnerable, taking damage and on fire. Direct shots available. Doesn't land the door snipe this time. Malm down to 46% and ripping themselves off of their own foundations. As the howitzer flies, will survive. Is that plasma online? Not quite yet. It's close, but not quite yet. Plasma beam vulnerable to direct fire from the enemies, from their opponent's fire beam. Oh no. Like, what do you do here? You try to door snipe that howitzer again, I think is what you do again? Like, that's the only thing you can do, I think. But this time, if they land the door snipe, which is going to be it's going to be much more difficult this time than last time. But if they land it, they're going to end up in a worse position than last time. It'll be just like last time, only with fewer weapons, and their opponents have more stuff all around. Oh, well, that's bad. Now the howitzer could fire for free!
It's in the terrain. Yeah, nice.
For free.
Swing and a miss. Oh, Malm almost getting door sniped right there. They're trying so hard to take out that plasma. Look at that. So, they're trying so hard to take out that plasma. Once that plasma goes, Team Skill Gap has free reign over the game. They already have a massive advantage, but once that goes... I think they're aiming for their mines. I appreciate this out of Team Skill Gap. They love hunting mines into extinction. And yeah, sure, it generally leads to longer games, but it's oftentimes a much more consistent victory than going direct for the core shot. And it served them very well so far. Look at that! So close to the door snipe, just a few degrees off, and I myself would have taken catastrophic damage. So close. Buzzsaw getting a direct shot onto Malm's core again. Sniper trying to follow that. Gets another shot. 18%!
The fire move.
Oh no.
they blocked themselves.
Oh, it's bad. Massive
Ooh, yeah,
damage. Malm loses their last weapon. With that, Malm has no way of replying. Team Skill Gap has free reign to do anything they want in this match. They're throwing out the bait mortar to find. There's nothing left to bait. Team Westwind has been beaten into submission. They have nothing to fight back with, and it's just a matter, at this point, of Team Skill Gap just doing the game-ending damage, which is, they actually don't really have game-ending damage right now available to them. But Team Skill Gap knows the situation and they're out for blood. It's rapid fire howitzer time. And that's really all they could do is just keep firing. Follow-up laser again. There it is.
There we go.
Good shot.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, a clean sweep in the finals. Team Skill Gap wins it all. Going 3-0 over their opponents. That's beautiful.
That is
Impressive.
amazing. Congratulations, guys. That's just what an effort.
Absolutely.
Such consistency too.
Yeah, the newcomer is just destroying everything.
I am. That makes me so happy. You have no idea. Do you have any idea how happy that makes? I bet that makes Eaton happy because people don't have an excuse to be scared of him anymore because there's a whole team out here.
Right.
Also, that explains why you sent me
win.
5 replays, but 2 of them were scuffed. I was wondering
Yeah,
about that.
Update the bracket right now. We can see.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our final standings. Team Skill Gap first place. Team Westwind second place. Team Fortified takes bronze. Ladies and gentlemen, the Forts Pro League.
There we go. Perfect.
That's so awesome.
That is amazing. This has been my favorite. I think this is probably my favorite event we've done so far. Like all the events we've done over the years they just keep getting better and better, and this one is so far the best. And it's had probably the best matches we've seen. It is top, and this makes me very happy.
I agree. It's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure, casting these with you, and just seeing the skill of these players, just watching Forts being played with this intense aggression and methodology is just so impressive to see. You know, and as one of the developers of the game, you know, to see it being played outside of its original intention to some degree, and see these new plays, and especially seeing such synchronized teamwork, you know, between the 2 players on the teams, and setting up those really awesome 1-2 punches. I just love watching that. So awesome.
It is beautiful. That's why I was saying, like, I said it earlier, and I'll mention it again. I love watching the pristine plays, the ones that have been practiced to a point where it's impressive to see the execution. And Eaton is very well known for doing this. And it's one of the reasons why sometimes I'll be sitting there just like fawning almost over the build orders that the guy does, because they're so perfectly done, so perfectly executed, and so top tier optimized that it's impressive to watch it. And it's very rare that we see that tier of optimization outside of Eaton. But we saw some of that stuff here, and it made me happy. And it resulted in clean sweeps from Team Skill Gap. Like,
What do you think,
Not
Ethan?
been messing around.
Clearly.
I mean, I think they were just. It's not even that their builds were amazing. It's just they were always on top of map control. They were always winning sniper battles and killing all the gunners, and it just meant that their howies were landing and other teams weren't.
Yes, they maintained the skill gap.
They maintain the skill gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they
Exactly,
did.
yeah.
I mean, that's part of it. Like they have to have a build order which is competitive, while also spending a great amount of APM on managing sniper and map control.
Yeah,
That's-
it just
that's
felt
the
like when
thing
I
that
was
makes it
playing. When I was playing against them with helicopter, our weapons were a little bit faster and we were ready to shoot, but they always had the AA ready and we couldn't get anything. Like especially the second game, when I was just making a bunch of howies for some reason, and we never got any of them to land because they just had a wall of gunners and Mateo helicopter wasn't killing of them from top base and wasn't blocking them, and I wasn't making my own shotguns right, so that was kind of. It was just frustrating to not be able to get anything to connect, I guess.
Yeah, like that's what they've been doing. All right. So,
Yeah,
do we have?
It's really impressive, honestly.
Was there any other announcements or things you wanted to? Anything we wanted to mention before wrapping it up here?
I think basically, as I said before, we're gonna take a break from the FPL for a few months. We're gonna hold some one-off tournaments. We're gonna hold some map making competitions and AI tournaments, as well as Rome's going to hold some challenge events, which I'm looking forward to. So I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to do in the off season. And also, with regards to the next season of the FPL, once again, there will be an announcement, and it will be open for anybody to join. We like to see all skill ranges in there, and because, you know, when you have an open invitation like that, you end up with new blood in the tournament, and players like Skill Gap come out of nowhere and win the tournament. So you never know who's going to be the new victors, the new champions. So yes, I look forward to seeing all that come together, and actually, just at this point, I'd like to probably thank everybody that's been involved in organizing this. A big shout out to 42 here for being the main organizer of the FPL, and it was just he's just done a fantastic job, and we've been thrown some good curveballs with, you know, games or players not being able to be at the right time, but I think we've rolled with the punches pretty well. So I think, you know, it's all gone quite well. I want to thank Anity, who have been providing us with this awesome presentation, and just really improving the quality of how we're showing the FPL. And we're going to just keep trying to improve this and make it better. So we're looking forward to hearing people's feedback on everything about the presentation and stuff. And big thanks and shout out to you, Incursus, for your never-ending support of the game Forts. It's awesome seeing you stream it all the time, and you're awesome at doing the play-by-play casting. So I just really appreciate that. So I just wanted to thank everyone, and I hope everybody enjoyed it.
All right. Well, thank you. Shout out to Nose, one of the great devs at the Forts development shop, and always here with the community to keep things going. And I know you guys love it. Without further ado, I want to say thank you for everyone. Thank you to the competitors, and we'll see you guys in the next Forts Pro League.